One is better. This is for the people maybe coming up for Aliyah's or something like that. Hello, Jerome. It's okay, we're just getting started. Okay, we are streaming, so Leslie, bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone. My name is Louise Windheld.
You got to move it closer.
Closer to the mic.
Much closer. Lift the mic up.
Oh,
Extend it.
Shabbat shalom. It's not on. Nobody touched it. Hey, it was on 2 minutes ago. The other one's not. And it was working a few minutes ago also. Time out. I sang forcefully. I don't know.
Well, you'll have to use your teacher's voice.
I'll use my teacher's voice. No, it's not. Well, I don't know. Okay. I'm going to continue. Should I? It also was on a few minutes ago. It's weird. Very weird. Well, I'm going to continue because I guess the television is on. Again, I'm Louise Windheld, and I have the honor of leading services today. Please, and Alan Endy is reading Torah, chanting Torah, no doubt. Chanting, okay. Please turn off your cell phone or silence your cell phone. Double check it so that we don't have unnecessary noises here. And if you're called up to the bima, you're going to have to use your teacher voice at this rate, okay? So on page 67 or 185, if you have that other book, we're going to be at the top of the page. I enter this sacred space to voice the longings of my heart in prayer. In sacred company, I offer my love to the Holy One. I devote myself this morning to psalm and song, study and prayer. May my heart be lifted, may my thoughts be deepened, and may my soul, like the eagle, soar. And then on page 66 at the top, each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day, to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. Ideals are betrayed and mocked, answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith. On page 70, or 188, is Hine Matov, which we'll all sing together. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hine Matov u'manayim, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. On page 73, or page 191. Thank you. Whoever wrapped in a talit in one's youth will never forget taking it out of the soft sack, opening the folded talit, spreading it, kissing the border along its length, sometimes embroidered and sometimes embossed. Afterwards, a great sweep over the head like the heavens, like a chuppah, like a parachute. Afterwards, folding it around one's head as if playing hide and seek, and then wrapping the body in it tight, letting it fold you like a cocoon, and then opening it like wings for flying. And why are there stripes and not black and white squares like a chessboard? Because squares are finite, without hope, and stripes come from infinity and go on to infinity, like the runways at the airport, so that angels may land and take off. When you wrap yourself in a talit, you cannot forget coming out of a swimming pool or the sea and being wrapped in a great towel and casting it over one's head and wrapping in it tight, and shivering a little and laughing and blessing. On page 72, on the right, the Hebrew at the bottom, and then in the middle of the page, the English. Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvot tov, v'tzivanu lahitatef bat tzitzit. Bless Adonai, O my soul, Adonai my God, how great you are. You are robed in glory and majesty, wrapping yourself in light as in a garment, spreading forth the heavens like a curtain. And then on page 74, Matovu. Matovu, Matovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Matovu, Matovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani Beroch Chasdecha, Avo Vetecha, Eshtacha Ve'ercheko Kachecha, Ve'yiratecha, Matovu, Matovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. I think you sound great, from my perspective anyway. Page 75, or 193. May the one whose spirit is with us in every righteous deed be with all who work for the good of humanity and bear the burdens of others, and who give bread to the hungry, who clothe the naked, and take the friendless into their homes. May the work of their hands endure, and may the seed they sow bring abundant harvest. Then on page 77, 195, and also on page 79, 197, there are two prayers. The first one on 77 is a blessing, a prayer of thanks for our bodies, and the one on 79 is a prayer of thanks for our souls. And Marty, why don't you come up here?
Which one do you want me to do?
I want you to read both of them. I will. Page 77 on the top.
No, at the top,
This
okay.
one, and then this one.
And then this.
Okay? Good. Go for it. Either way.
Hello. Okay. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai. That's all right. Matter is never destroyed, only transformed. So too can the soul evolve higher and higher, from instinct to inspiration, haughtiness to holiness, selfishness to service, from individualism to union, or, if I may ad lib, to minion. To join with the soul of souls, the infinite one, as the soul is magnified and sanctified, so is the infinite one exalted. Baruch atah Adonai, asher b'yado nefesh kol ha'am. My pleasure.
We're moving to page 85, or 203. And Dave, if you'll come up and do I Am a Jew.
I am a Jew because our faith demands no abdication of my mind. I am a Jew because our faith requires all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because in every place where the suffering weep, the Jew weeps. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes. I am a Jew because the words in the Torah are the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because our promise is the universal promise. I am a Jew because for us the world is not completed, we are completing it. I am a Jew because humanity is not created, we are creating it. I am a Jew because we place humanity and its unity above all nations and even above our beliefs themselves.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, page 88, or 206. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people, and the study of Torah encompasses them all. On page 100 is Hallelujah, and we will sing that one spiritedly. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshema tehaleya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshema tehaleya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Wonderful. On page 108, we have the Shema and its blessings on page 108 or 226. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach, Le'olam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. And then on page 111, or 229, and you can sit for a few minutes if you wish, page 111 or 229. Hold on. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer Ha'ma'orot. And now on page 114 and 115 or 232, 233 is the actual Shema. Rise if you can, and we'll recite together. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You may be seated. On page 116 or 234 at the top of the page. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom levavecha, Vishinantam levanecha, Vidibarta bam, Vishiftecha b'veitecha, Uvleftecha b'derech, Uvshakbecha uvekumecha, Ukshartam li'od ayadecha, V'hayula totafot b'neinecha. Uktavtam amazuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet. Now stop there, because on the very next page, 117 or 235, there's a kind of a translation of that, which I'd like to read. It really means a lot to me. If we can hear the words from Sinai, then love will flow from us, and we shall serve all that is holy with all our intellect and all our passion and all our life. If we can serve all that is holy, we shall be doing all that humans can to help the rains to flow, the grasses to be green, the grains to be golden like the sun, and the rivers to be filled with life once more. All the children of God shall eat, and there will be enough. But if we turn from Sinai's words and serve only what is common and profane, making gods of our own comfort or power, then the holiness of life will contract for us. Our world will grow inhospitable. Let us therefore lace these words into our passions and our intellect and bind them as a sign upon our hands and eyes. Let us write them in the mezuzot upon our doors and teach them to our children. Let us honor the generations that came before us, keeping the promise for those yet to come. And now we continue on page 123. Page 123 or 241. At the very, very bottom of the page is something by Herbert Bronstein, who says that Egypt is a symbol of any bondage, any slavery. In singing the Song of the Sea, we sing our present experience of redemption as well as the historic redemption of Israel from Egypt in our past. Every day, said the rabbis, we are sold into slavery. Every day we are delivered, and every day we experience the miraculous as real as that of the sea. And so we sing on page 122 at the top of the page, Micha Mocha, and the Sur Yisroel we will read in English. Okay? So we'll do this. Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh, Micha Nedar Bakodesh, No Rati Lot O Seifele, No Rati Lot O Seifele, Bye bye bim bim bam, Yava bye bye bim, Yava bye bye bim bim bam, Yava bye bye bim bam, ay 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 ay, Yava bye bye bim bam, ay 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 ay, Yava bye bye bim bam, Shira Chadasha Shibachu Geulim, Nishim Bechal Asfat Hayam. Yachad kulam hodu v'yimyamu Adonai yimloch ve'olam va'im. Hey, yapai bye bim 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 bam, yapai bye bim bam, yapai bye bim 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 bam, yapai bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yapai bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yapai bye bim. Third paragraph in English. Let's recite this together. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tzvaot, is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And on page 124, 242 is the tefillah. Please rise if you are able. Adonai, Sifatai Tivta, Ufi Agita Hilatecha, Adonai, Sifatai Tivta, Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Hold on a minute, there's a little English passage. On the bottom of page 125 or 243. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. We continue on the top of page 126. Come on. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Baruch atah Adonai. Wrong one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yaakov, Elohai Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor. V'konei hakol, v'zocher chazdei avot v'yimaot, u'mevi ge'ula livnei v'nei l'man shemo b'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, v'ezrat Sarah. 128. Tagi bor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav Lehoshiach, Mashiv Haruach Mormid Hagashem, Mechachel Hayim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayei Umatato Lishenei Afar. Micha mocha bal givurot, umido melach, melech memid, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emana atah lechayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Page 130. Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, kishem shimakdashim oto b'shmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviecha, v'karazeh el zeh ve'yamar, kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melo kol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir Adirim, Nai Adonai, Ma'adir Shimecha b'kol haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai. Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Eloheinu, Hu Moshienu, V'Hu Yashmienu, V'Rachamav Li'enei Kol Hai, Ani Adonai Elohim. Yimlov Adonai Leolam. Elohai Yitzion. Lidor Vador. Hallelujah. Lidor Vador Nagid God Lecha. Ul netzach netzachim kedushachach nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Boy, I thought we were in an Orthodox minyan there for a few minutes. Everybody going at their own pace and saying their own words. That was kind of challenging. Okay, we're going to be singing again, but you can sit down. Page 140 is Sim Shalom, fast version. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen V'Chesed V'Rachamim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yisrael Amecha, Barchenu Yatzreinu Kulanu Kechad, Bior Panecha, Ki Or Panecha Natata Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen V'Chesed V'Rachamim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yisrael Amecha. Very nice. That woke you up. That's good. We're going to start the Torah service now on page 244 or 362. And Eric, I'd like you to join me up here, if you could, to do the heavy work, the heavy lifting. Okay. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut ko'amim, u'mensheltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amoitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Please rise. Rachamim eiti Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Ki v'cha levad b'tahaknu, Melech el Ranisa Adon Olam. 246. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, U'devar Adonai Mirushalayim. 248. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Good.
Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema.
Gadlu Adonai Yitim, Umerameva Shemo Yata. Now. Adonai Hakimon, Hatiperet Bahamad. Keep I'm trying to find the yard. I'm trying to find the yacht. I'm trying to get the yacht out of here.
The yacht is over there.
Did you bring that?
That was on the tour.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yes,
Got it?
yes. Do you need to find the place? Do you need to find the place? Go ahead. Okay. All right, got it. Yeah. Before we get into the actual reading of the Torah, I just want to give you a little explanation about this crazy portion this week. It's Tzav, which deals with a lot of sacrifices, which just challenges many, many people, including the rabbis. The whole of Leviticus is about instructions for the priests as they, under God's and Moses' directions, worked to create a Jewish religion after the people fled Egypt, crossed the Reed Sea, and struggled through the desert. The people probably inadvertently took with them the Egyptian experiences they had witnessed as slaves, and so the influence of Egyptian religious practices can be seen in the early Israelite practice of making sacrificial offerings to God. In this early portion of Leviticus, verse 6 to 8, that Alan will be reading, the several sacrificial offerings are presented and only partially explained. No one can be sure what these various sacrifices really meant. The olah, which was a burnt offering by those guilty of sinful thoughts. The mincha, which was a meal offering. The chatat, which was a sin offering by those who had committed unintentional wrongs. The asham, which was a guilt offering, and the zevach shelamim, which was a sacrifice of well-being or peace. We are only human. We make mistakes. We make poor choices. We suffer from our errors. We in the 21st century continue to feel the need to correct our mistakes, apologize for harming others, make peace in our lives. We no longer perform those early practices of bringing offerings to our temples of worship. Our rabbis are our teachers. They are not priests who would accept the offerings and perform ablutions for the people. So how today do we make sense of Torah portions that tell of these ancient rituals? How can we make these old laws relevant to our lives today? That is the question which I'll leave you to wrestle with. Remember, Israel means wrestle with God. And so we wrestle. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, we're going to have 3 aliyot.
Yamdu, Rishon. Anyone commemorating a yard sign?
If not, anyone would like to take a lead? There will be three.
Don't all jump at once. Come on, you guys.
Can I go home now?
That'll cut the service short.
So I am reading from chapter 8, starting with verse 1. And this is about the investiture of Aaron and his sons. They're clothed, but they're being clothed and they're being anointed.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. V'daber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Kach et Aharon ve'et banav ito, ve'et habagadim, ve'et shemen hamishcha. Ve'et par chachatat, ve'et shnei ha'elim, ve'et salamatzot, ve'et kol ha'edah hakel, el petach ohel ma'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. No. Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam notan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Your name?
I'm saying Kaddish for all the people who are affected and who have passed away in Ukraine. My name is Masha Miriam Malcolm.
What?
Jenny Ganendo, but Heshvi for Jenny Ganendo.
Shmuel Ben Yehuda.
Elisheva bat Miriam for Fischel.
Any comments?
Not prepared. Yes, I mean, we all pray for Ukraine and the end to this violence.
And Stan?
Here's your card.
What more can I say about the Ukrainian tragedy?
All right. Yondu, Mary?
Yitzhak ben Zalig Bahama.
Starting on verse 4.
Baruch atah, no, Baruch hu Adonai Hamurah.
Baruch atah le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamurah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim. No,
Hashem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Amen. Vayas Moshe kasher tziva Adonai oto vatikahel ha'edah al petach ohel moed. Vayomer Moshe et ha'edah ze hadavar asher tziva Adonai la'asod. Vayakrev Moshe et Aharon ve'et banav ve'erchatzotam b'mayim. Vayiten alav et hakotonet v'yachkor oto be'avnet v'yalbesh oto et hama'il. וייתן עליו את האפוד, ויחגור אותו ויחגור אותו בקשב האפוד, ויפוד לו בו, וישם אליו את החושן, ויתן אל החושן את האורים ואת התומים. וישם את המצנפת על ראשו, וישם על מצנפת אל מול פניו, את ציץ הזהב נזר הקדוש, כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'kayei olam natan b'torkeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
I came up just to honor Elisa because I think that the job that you do to keep this minion going is just phenomenal.
All right. Yamdu, Shi. Third Leah. Your name.
Elena bat Abraham Vasara.
We're on verse 10.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak Le'olam Vayed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Vayed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barakar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. ויקח משה את שמן המשחה, וימשך את המשכן ואת כל אשר בו, ויקדש אותם. ויעז ממנו על המזבח 7 פעמים, וימשך את המזבח ואת קוקליו, ואת הכיור, ואת קנו לקדשם. ויצוק משמן המשחה על ראש אהרון, וימשך אותו לקדשו. ויקרב משה את בני אהרון, וילבישם כתונות, ויחקור אותם אבני, ויחבוש להם מגבעות, כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'kayei olam nata v'tekenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Well, it's good to see everybody back in person. I've been going to Friday nights for a while and all that good stuff. I missed that first week back because we were celebrating in our new home up in Mammoth. So I was celebrating my birthday, skiing tons, had great friends. My husband invited one of my girlfriends and flew her out from Kentucky and had a wonderful dinner and amazing time. And then I got sick. So, yes, I got the COVID, and I just thought it was a sinus infection. So I went in and had to beg for those monoclonal antibodies. I had to pull out that cancer card, and I had to really push on it so they'd give it to me. So it went by really quick, but yeah, it was a little good, a little bad, but it was a wonderful time. But, oh, God, yeah. So thank you.
Glad you're back.
Yeah, thanks.
While the Torah is still out, I want to do the Misha Berach. I really like the idea of having the blessings with the Torah out. So if you'll turn please to page 253 or 371. And before we chant and the prayers, if you have someone who you are remembering that you would like to have some prayers for their healing, physically, mentally, emotionally, you name it, come on up, speak into the microphone, and tell us the person's name. This side is working well.
Sharon and Stanley Garbus.
My girlfriend, Michelle Davis, recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and Christine Larson.
My typical long list: Sam Kamen, Abby Thomas, Carl and Leslie Sebastian, Jack and Bernice Sandbrand, Bob and Carolyn Johnston, Dave and Marlene Nurek, Lucy Kramer, Adele Levy, Esther Rosenberg, who I hope is online, Ellen Kahn, Rhonda Schwartz, Jay Harris, Fred Valfer, Lee Levy, Sylvia Witterspan, and Herb Lubick.
Anybody else? Eric?
David Kroll, Fred Valford, Jay Harris, Millie Phillips, Sharon Ritter, Jan Curry, Evie Anderson, Fred Horowitz, and my daughter-in-law's family, Raffles.
Okay.
Judy and Gordon, who are going through moving, and that's traumatic and a big change. So we wish you all the best.
My friend Joan Howard and the survivors all over the world, and especially in Ukraine. We're going to return the Torah to the Ark. We'll be on page 252.
Is a Torah, Moshe, Lifnei B'nai Yisrael, Avi Adonai, B'yad Moshe, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Olam, Olam, Amen. Shlosha Devarim.
Shlosha Devarim. The other way, turn it around. Just turn it around. Shlosha Devarim. Ha'olam, ha'olam, omen.
HaTorah
V'al havodah, v'al gimilut hasadim. Good.
HaTorah Mi'avodah.
V'al gimilut hasadim.
This is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel. God's word through the hand of Moses.
On page 282 or 591 is the Aleinu. On the bottom of 282, and then we'll move over to 287. Please rise. Kimosh v'chod ha'adama shelo sam keokenu kahem l'dor aleinu kekol havona v'anaknu korim u'mishabim u'modim lifnei melech hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. 287. Amar v'haya Adonai l'melech hayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. On page 290 or 594 is passage number 4, which happened to have been written by Walt Whitman, of all people. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of men and women, I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. On page 293, let me ask you now if there are people you are remembering whose yahrzeit is this week. Okay. Nobody? I guess that's good. Those in the Ukraine, absolutely. Absolutely. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On page 294, please rise if you can for the Kaddish. Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'alma Divra Kirhute, V'yamlik Malchute, V'chaye Chon Uv'yomei Chon, Uv'kaye Dikol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mivorach, Leolam Olamei Amaya, Yit Barak, V'yishtabak, V'yit Pa'ar, V'yit Romam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Alev, V'yit Alal, Shemei Dekudisha Barichu. Le'am min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba mim shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody involved in this service, Leslie, Mary, Alan, Eric, Marty, David, everybody. And Elisa, come on up.
Well, Louise already thanked everyone. But thank you very much, Louise, for leading today. Beautiful service. And Alan and Dee for that beautiful reading of Torah. We thank you. Next week, Deborah Fisher. Thank you, Leslie Mark, for playing the piano. We're going to move that piano down.
And Mary Marshall.
And Mary Marshall for playing drums.
And Zoe. Just because.
Okay. Next week, Deborah Fisher will be leading us in service and reading Torah. I hope to see you all again next week. Have a good week, everyone. And what? Oh, yeah, I'll say Shalom Circle. Let's go.